of the things that Birmingham, Alabama is famous for is the Vulcan Park and Museum. It's pretty cool.
We're pulling in now. We haven't been there yet. We don't know if it's cool, but that's a cool statue we just saw.
Yeah. So one of my coworkers recommended that we come see it. It's only a short drive from the Hoover Metropolitan Complex, which is where we're staying, which is also a really great campground, especially for people who are working remote.
Yeah, their internet's insane there.
Yeah, when they say like don't ever trust a campground Wi-Fi, you can trust this campground Wi-Fi. It is pretty epic. So yeah, so we're excited to take you to see this kind of marker or touristy site, whatever it may be, and show you a little bit more of Birmingham.
A photo of this statue.
The Vulcan, the Roman god of metalwork and the forge. He's 56 feet tall. Whoa!
It's a map.
There's a railroad. Oh, a truck.
You on the train tracks?
Truck.
Doing just about every job that has traditionally been done by men. Industry experts are amazed at the speed in which steel producers like Republic Steel, Stock of Valves, Birmingham Southern Steel,
No! Don't do it!
Baby Vulcan.
No! Don't do it! Oh, he does.
There may be people on it.
And then
Yeah,
we're
we
asking
need to
people
step back,
just to
buddy.
take about 10 minutes up
No,
top
buddy.
because we're having a limited amount.
Yeah,
Okay.
step back.
He only
You
wants to ride the
stand back
elevator. I doubt we'll
Okay.
even spend any time up there. Okay.
Make sure these doors don't close. All right, y'all are ready to go.
Come on.
And
Hold my
once you're
hand,
there,
please.
just press the button next to 2. Make sure it lights up and you'll have good views out of both windows, especially that back one.
Okay, alright. So let's face this way. Ooh, buddy,
We
I'm
love you
scared
very,
of
very
heights.
much.
Whoa. It's super duper high, buddy. So I need you to hold my hand.
Ooh, it's still going up, huh?
Ugh.
Here we go. Don't look down, Ethel. Can't go down the stairs.
Yeah, walk around.
Don't look down, Ethel.
I'm trying not to.
If you are afraid of heights at all, stay away. This is nerve-wracking even for somebody who has jumped out of stuff before and had fun. I mean, that is down if you can see through the grate. I mean, it is. He said it was over 100 feet down, so It's definitely a little nerve-wracking. You see how the elevator all the time, you're like, oh, it's gonna stop eventually, it's gonna stop. Nah, it takes a long time for that thing to stop to get you ready to go. So they limit you to 10 minutes right now. And that is more than enough.
All right, let's go see it in the tower.
Here. How you doing, Mommy? How you doing? What's wrong, Mommy?
That ground is just not as firm.
How can I move it?
I don't know.
There we go. Dad didn't hit the button hard enough.
Oh. Was that fun?
It was very fun.
Do you
It
want
was
to go back
100
up
feet in
there?
the air.
No.
No, you good?
You sure? You don't want to go up there and have a picnic?
Maybe do some jumping jacks.
You want to do jumping jacks up there?
We can do those tomorrow after Saturday.
We do them on the ground.
Why did the dog and do it?
All right, that was fun.
Thank you.
Other way, buddy.
Cool.
Exits this way.
It's just a little scary if you're afraid of heights.
I hear that.
So the Vulcan Museum was a little bit different than what I was thinking at first. It was a lot smaller, but it was still pretty cool. It had a lot more history in it. Like it's an iron museum, so I expected it to be more like ironworking based. It was different for me. Like I was thinking, like as a former welder, I was like, oh, that's gonna be pretty cool to see all that. But it was still pretty cool. I mean, there was a lot of history in there, which is really cool. It was just different than what I was expecting. Probably should have researched it more online from my end. I'm sure you did.
Yeah, no, I think I knew a little bit more coming into it. It's a really pretty park. Like he said, it's small. It may also be too, like I researched it, but sorry, that's the crinkling of chips bags.
Yeah, the restaurant that gave us chips for a side.
Yeah. The park may be bigger than what we saw, but we had a rambunctious.
This is the same day we went
us.
through the Barber Museum. Even though it's two separate videos, it is the same day. So so he was a little wore out and a little tired. He only ate a little bit of his hot dog at lunch, so he's probably hangry.
Yeah.
So.
But it was just, I think what I appreciate is I like going to these smaller museums to learn about like the local history. Like I remember going to Costa Rica and going to the Costa Rican Museum in San Jose and just learning about like the pieces of history that you've read in a textbook. And like Rosie the Riveter and the World War II area of women coming in. Like Rainey said, this is kind of like, I didn't realize that there was so much steel and ironwork that was done in Birmingham, and that's kind of what built the city.
Yeah, I mean, it was very civil rights led and just
and the
interesting.
civil rights movement, you know, there were major things that happened here during that time period as well. So it's just things you've read about in history books and coming to like where they happened, and it's just really cool to see. So
trying to get out.
yeah. But yeah, so, and the great thing too is it wasn't expensive.
No.
There were 5 of us that went, and it was $22.
Yeah.
So, and you got to ride to the top of the
Not something stuff you want to do as you saw in the video.
The Vulcan Tower. I'm a little bit afraid of heights.
They blocked me and I can't go left, so I'm just gonna go right.
I'm a little bit afraid of heights. I'm fine as long as there's like a stable ground underneath.
She's jumped out of a plane before.
Yeah, but that was a whole different scenario. Anyways, this, like, you walk out. Right now, the tower itself is closed, so you can't walk up the steps.
Which I would have preferred.
Yeah. At this, honestly, I could say, like, I would have preferred it as well. But you can ride the elevator to the top, so if you can't take the stairs, you can always take the elevator. But when you step out...
It's a glass elevator, too, where you can see the whole way up. It's
there's just, like, a great walkway to the tower and, like, all the way around it.
Which, so you can see down, all 100+ feet down.
Yeah, and the great, like, immediately around the tower is very sturdy. Reminds me of a lighthouse. The grate when you first walk from the elevator, because you can tell the elevator was built quite a bit of time after the tower was built.
Pretty recent.
So that grate when you walk out, it has a little give, which I understand because buildings move, and I've learned that, but it still doesn't make you feel all that wonderful. Mm-hmm. So, all in all, it was a cool thing to experience and a cool place to go that wasn't that expensive. It didn't break the bank.
quick little stop off. I mean, because you can do everything for free except for go in the museum and go to the tower. So the park's free.
Yeah.
But
and
the museum's not very big. It was very small, but like I said, it was very informative.
Yeah.
I wish we had more time to just plunder through, but we got stuff to do. Like, I'd have loved to read every single plaque, but
yeah. But
maybe next time.
All in all, I would say like a really fun day. I guess they do fireworks there, which I can imagine are pretty epic. With the huge iron Vulcan. The thing that I liked was the phrase like the original Iron Man.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
You pointed it out, but I didn't notice it.
Yeah, they had bumper stickers and like beard koozies, and I think it's a funny saying. But I like Marvel movies, so. But yeah, so.
I didn't know what Marvel was before we started dating.
Yeah, so if you're in the Birmingham, Alabama area, there's a lot of things to do, a lot of places to visit. If you're wanting to come and not spend a ton of money, I definitely recommend the Vulcan Museum. There's a lot of parks, and while the Barber Museum was expensive, it was, I think, worth it.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think they got 1,000 vintage bikes in there they're paying for, plus that big building, and it's a 501c. So I mean, they're not making profit off of it. So.
Yeah.
It was nice. They charged you what they had to keep the place open.
Yeah. So I mean, Vulcan Museum, I would say it was a highlight and a cool thing to see. You know, do I need to come back and see it? Not unless there's fireworks.
Yeah. Or if we're here again, maybe come back and Augie's a little older to understand it would be the only reason. Because like he's not going to understand the civil rights stuff when we read it to him, like all the things and correlation with everything. Just kind of be something for him to read later on.
Yeah, I mean, we're teaching him slowly, but I think once we start, I mean, right now we're just working on reading and learning our numbers. And he's getting more exposure to history than I think most kids his age.
Yeah.
So I think
and it's only just begun.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool to bring him back when we get to that portion of American history. And he can actually see where some of this stuff happened.
Yeah, so that was our short little trip to, I think we talked more than we actually have footage of us being there, but yeah, so that was our short trip to the Vulcan Museum in Birmingham, Alabama.
See you on our next adventure.
Or is it Augie's been saying Alabama?
Mama, we're in Alabama. I had to explain I'm not a mama, I am mommy. So.
Yeah.
See you on our next adventure.